So today I'm with Lori Heino Royer, and Lori is with Daimler Corporation. She's been there for 18 years and currently is the head of business development and connectivity in the autonomous vehicle area within Daimler. She's been working on blockchain for a couple of years now. So I wanted to interview Lori and find out her thoughts around blockchain since she's local to our Portland community. So, Lori, can you start out by telling us something about yourself, your background? I know you have some background around Portland State here.
Yep, absolutely. So I myself an alum of Portland State. So I did my MBA here and I finished that in '02. So I've been around for a while. I would say about 4 or 5 years ago, I really started giving back to Portland State. So I'm on the alumni board. I'm an advisor for the School of Business. I'm an advisor for the Center for Entrepreneurship. And I've graduated 3 of my 5 kids through the school as well. So I've got some history here with PSU. I've been at Daimler, as you said, for 18 years. I'm actually a CPA by trade, and I started my world at Daimler in the finance area and have had different backgrounds in sales, in project management, and now I lead business development. So I have quite the spectrum of background to work with.
Wow, that's a great background. Moving from the accounting side of business into business development is quite a maneuver.
Yes.
For most accountants anyway. So tell me, Lori, so blockchain is this set of emerging technologies is it's somewhat new in the enterprise level. You know, It came out quite a few years ago with Bitcoin, but that wasn't really an enterprise solution. So what about this technology has gotten you so excited in Daimler?
Right. There's a lot of talk about different ways to use blockchain. And as it was first being talked about in Bitcoin, there wasn't a lot of interest from enterprise. And we were kind of like, yeah, what's going on here? And in my role in business development, I have to have my eye on everything, sort of what's happening, when do we do something with it, and why. And I started hearing little rumblings here and there. And for us, we work in the heavy-duty trucking industry, and so customers started paying attention to it a little bit. And so there was an organization that was formed called Blockchain in Transport Alliance, and they reached out to me and they said, look, you're pretty progressive and you're visionary at Daimler, and so we want to talk to you about what you think about what's going on here. And so I sat down with them and I had a few conversations, and I said, a lot of my customers are really starting to pay attention to this. I need to start paying more attention. So I set out to educate myself more on the technology and what could be done with it. And so I searched high and low and found a company called Filament that I enjoy working with in order to educate myself further in a way that was proper for an enterprise, as opposed to what is a startup doing and how might we be able to use it. So it was really the fact that my customers started really asking a lot of questions about it. And so then I really engaged on a completely different level.
So given that, so it seems like you've caught up pretty quickly and you've had some help in doing so. So how do you see it playing out over the next, say, 2 to 5 years at Daimler?
I think that's all around the world. We're doing different things with blockchain in Daimler. So in North America, I lead the charge for the trucking division, which is super interesting because in Europe, it's being led by finance, and in Asia, it's being led by IT. Really? So even there are different groups that have activities and interest in what can happen with blockchain. I would say I look a little bit further out than 2 to 5 years, and I'll put it into the 10-year time frame.
Okay.
And in my work with autonomous, what I know is that the world has to be different today for an autonomous truck to be on the road. And there's really sort of 3 things that I key in on for that to be true. So one is digital identity. And right now people think, oh, digital identity exists. I know what my vehicle is and I know it's there. But your vehicle and the digital identity is only tied to the entity that you're it with. And so you have your system and you've logged in and you've created this digital identity for it, but everything it comes in contact with needs to be able to read that digital identity. So if the truck gets pulled over by a first responder, that first responder has to be able to know what the digital identity. The truck pulls into a dock and needs to unload, it needs to have digital identity. Right now that doesn't exist. So I see blockchain as a mechanism to be able to do that. The truck will also have to be able to conduct financial transactions. So if there's not a person behind the wheel, the truck itself will have to pay for fuel, it will have to pay for tolls, it will have to conduct financial transactions completely on its own. And then the third aspect of it is what we manufacture is the tractor component, which is just the cab piece. The trailer is a separate component, and the trailer changes its contents on a regular basis. And there has to be valid documentation that can be attested, valid and trustworthy documentation on what is in that trailer. And so blockchain is the only technology that I see out there that has the potential to solve all three of those problems for me as one technology.
Wow, quite visionary and well said, thank you. Speaking of that being the only technology, so we have a lot of technology out there today. What makes blockchain specifically the solution that you're going to use for this particular problem, or solving these set of three problems?
Right. So it's to be proven yet whether it will, but it has the potential to solve all three of those, where the other technologies I see only solve one, or can solve 1.5 of those problems. Right now, blockchain has the potential to solve all three of those pretty easily. So it has other issues that we have to solve for to really make it more secure and more enterprise friendly. So the next iterations of blockchain that you see will become more enterprise friendly. And those are the changes that we need to see in order to sort of like embrace it. As part of, I'm on the board of Blockchain and Transport Alliance with many of our large fleet customers, and what we're trying to do there is set standards and really put technology standards in place so that blockchain can interact with enterprises in a new level. And I would say we're probably about 2 to 5 years away from being able to have really good set of standards that would allow blockchain to be more useful in an enterprise level on the supply chain.
Right, yeah, governance is hugely important and something that often gets overlooked. Well, with that, I'd like to thank you for being here and taking the time and supporting Portland State and being an alum.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate your time. And
thanks for having me.
You're welcome, thank you.
Thank you.